Alright, so Bitcoin and the equity markets are currently crashing pretty hard in advance of today's FOMC minutes meeting. We've got Fed futures rising while the markets are starting to price in the likelihood of the Fed coming out today with an extremely hawkish stance on monetary policy. So let's talk about it. Well, we've already discussed on the channel what to expect in advance of the FOMC minutes. So if you want a more advanced breakdown, check out yesterday's video, FOMC minutes meeting this week. You can get my full thoughts over there. It comes out today at 2 p.m. Eastern time or 7 p.m. GMT time, depending on where you are. I also have a stock market video scheduled, so I don't want to spend too long on the stock market chart. All you really need to know is that we are breaking to the downside. Corporate insiders are selling, like we've been talking about on the channel. I want to focus on the cryptocurrency markets for this one. So if we do come over to Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, we posted this on Twitter and we also talked about it on YouTube, but you can see that we did have a bullish pennant and also, you know, a symmetrical triangle. The symmetrical triangle is the pennant, so whatever you want to call it. You can also see there was a lower trend line touching the candle wicks instead of this one touching the candle body closes. And in the past 12 hours or so, we've broken to the downside of this, back tested it, and we've started to slip and nuke to the downside. Now, as we discussed yesterday, this is looking like a bar pattern with a huge run up to the upside, a spiky top, and a price target all the way down at 21,400. So where we are right now, I expect continuation down about another 9.7%. This is almost fully hinging on how the Fed come out today. So if at 2 p.m. Eastern time, the Fed come out and they are extremely hawkish, Powell says, hey, more interest rate hikes are needed. You know, the CPI is coming up hotter than we expected. We need to, you know, continue fighting inflation, which is what I personally expect them to come out and say. Then the markets are going to price this in. You're going to see your equity markets continue to break down. And a lot of the equity markets, if we come over to the black ball chart, are literally losing, you know, this support. So we've had a huge throw over out of this trend line, and when we've come back to back test it, we've lost it. So like I said, don't want to focus on the equity markets, but equity markets are nuking, and it's really time for Bitcoin to start playing catch up. So this 10% move down to 21,400 is not far-fetched. We've also got Bitcoin active addresses shooting up today, up 11.5%. There are a sizable increase in the amount of deposits on exchanges right now. Nothing too crazy, but active addresses are playing up. So as we've discussed previously many times on the channel, active addresses are where you have a sender wallet and a receiver wallet. So for example, if you send your cryptocurrency from your ledger or your Trezor to an exchange because you're anticipating today that the Fed is going to come out hawkish and you want to be able to quickly liquidate your bags, these are why the active addresses spike up. You've sent Bitcoin from one address, you've received it on another address. So, you know, just by sending your crypto to an exchange, you're creating a sender and receiver wallet. And you can see literally a lot of the time, you know, this top was right here. We had a spike in active addresses and this just, you know, spiked the price back down to the downside. But more or less, these huge spikes almost always correlate to a move back down. And we've got a huge spike right now. The last time we had a huge run up in active addresses, this was this top here as we started to break back down, and we've barely started moving down, and active addresses are shooting up right now in anticipation of the Fed. Someone also talked about this over on my Discord. Someone pointed out the fact that Bitcoin is currently in a 5-wave move to the upside. So since the local bottom was formed at 15,500, we've had a clear 1-wave, 2-wave, 3-wave, 4-wave, and we are currently in, or we're topping out from wave 5. Now, could we push up a tiny bit further? It's possible. Like I said, everything today is really hinging on what happens with the FOMC minutes. Like I personally said, I think they're going to come out hawkish, and with this, this would mean that, in my opinion, I think we've topped out on the 5-wave, and we should be starting to head back down to the downside. This chart is also super important. The 200-week moving average, as we've discussed, you know, we broke out of this macro trend line, we came down, and in my opinion, this is a huge throw over pattern where we've come up, retested the 200-week moving average, and now I think we're going to come down and lose this macro trend line, just like how in the equity markets we had this throw over, we came back to the trend line and we lost it. I think this is going to start bleeding into Bitcoin next. You can also see I found this chart. This was something I drew a couple of months ago, and I was just looking through charts, looking for something to talk about, and I was like, hey, you know, this touch point here, 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 we finally came back and retested this trend line, and this also comes into confluence with the 200-week moving average in our previous chart. So very interesting here. Now, coming over to our last couple of charts, like I said at the start of the video, the markets are starting to price in a very hawkish Fed coming into this FOMC meeting. So we're seeing the Fed futures just continuing to rocket to the upside. They are currently clocking in at 5.18. Yesterday they pushed up to 5.245 or so. So basically, from where we are at 4.75%, the markets are anticipating that we've got about another 45 basis points to come in the next FOMC meeting or two. So once again, pricing in, or starting to price in, that next jump up in the interest rates. People were thinking that the Fed is going to pivot. We had CPI numbers come in hotter than expected. We've got inflation turning back up. We've got China economy reopening strong. This is not good for the US. And with the FOMC minutes right around the corner, the markets are starting to show this fear undoubtedly. So Fed futures heading up. And wrapping up the video, we also do have the total one. It looks like it's locking in this lower high as we do turn down to the downside. Another macro lower high that, you know, you can see this one was on the 8th of August. And for the total altcoin market cap, the total altcoin market cap is looking so much weaker than the cryptocurrency market cap right now. So altcoins are showing weakness against Bitcoin. And you can see, you know, macro high, slightly more mid to macro term high, but still, you know, this high over here was lower than this previous one. So altcoins are looking extremely weak right now, and you're starting to see altcoins, some of them having some pretty big drops coming into today. So if you want to keep up to date on the FOMC minutes, I highly recommend that you come and follow me over on Twitter. I will be listening to the live stream, and I will be making a document, or I'll be making a note on my phone as I will be going out to have kendo training tonight. I won't be home when the FOMC minutes come out. So come follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. I will be sharing all of the key information for the FOMC minutes as they do come out before I do head out to my training session. So, you know, like I always say on this channel, I'm not strapped to my chair making TA every single day. Sometimes I am busy. A lot of the time I am doing training when these FOMC meetings come out. It always seems to come out on Wednesdays, and I'm always training in the evening on Wednesday. So I won't be here to make a video. Come follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy, but just wanted to get a quick video out letting you know my thoughts in advance of the Fed meeting. Once again, I'll post everything you need to know over on Twitter, whether they come out hawkish or whether they come out dovish, and subsequently which direction the markets will be moving into. If the Fed come out extremely dovish, we'll be moving back up. If the Fed come out extremely hawkish, we could be heading down to 21,400. So that's all I've got for you today. Hope to see you over on Twitter. As always, my friends, if you do enjoy my content, let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. Follow me over on Twitter. And if you want to come and join the Discord, be sure to head over to my YouTube, click on the About section, and you can see my official links for my Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and the merch store are all down below. Hope to see you over on the Discord. Hope to see you over on Twitter. That's all I've got for today. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.